1 year from now, you will be somewhere. The question is, where? 12 months from today, the calendar will have changed. The seasons will have come and gone. You'll be older. A year of your life will be behind you. And when you look back at this exact moment, you may ask yourself one question: why didn't I start? Because that's the strange thing about time. It never waits for you to feel ready. It doesn't stop because you're confused. It doesn't slow down because you're afraid. And it certainly doesn't ask whether you finally found the courage to begin. It just keeps moving, day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute. And one day, you wake up and realize that what once felt like someday was a year ago. Maybe there's something you've been thinking about starting: a business, a new skill, a YouTube channel, going to the gym, writing that book, learning a language, saving money, changing your life. You've thought about it. You've imagined it. You've watched other people do it. And every time you see someone living the life you want, a small voice inside you said, I could do that too. But then another voice answers, not yet, not today, maybe next week, maybe next month. When things calm down, when I have more money, when I know exactly what to do, when I'm more confident, when I'm finally ready. But here's the truth. 1 year from now, you may wish you had started today. Someday is a dangerous word, because someday sounds harmless. It doesn't sound like quitting. It doesn't sound like failure. It sounds like a promise. You tell yourself, I'm going to do it someday. And for a moment you feel better because you've convinced yourself that the dream is still alive. You haven't abandoned it. You've simply postponed it. But postponed dreams have a strange habit. They slowly become forgotten dreams. One day becomes next week. Next week becomes next month. Next month becomes next year. And before you realize it, years have passed. Not because you made one terrible decision, but because you made one small decision over and over again. I'll start tomorrow. Think about that. Most people don't fail because they aren't capable. They fail because they keep waiting for a day that doesn't exist. The perfect day. The day when they feel confident. The day when they have enough knowledge. The day when there are no problems. The day when they're guaranteed to succeed. But that day isn't coming. Life will always be busy. You will always have something to worry about. There will always be someone telling you why it won't work. There will always be a reason to wait. And if you're waiting for life to become easy before you begin, you may wait forever, because progress doesn't begin when conditions are perfect. Progress begins when you decide, this is enough. I don't know everything. I'm not ready for everything, but I know enough to take the first step. Imagine yourself 1 year from now. Now imagine two versions of yourself. Both wake up exactly 1 year from today. The first person looks almost the same. Same dreams, same excuses, same fears, maybe even the same frustration. A year ago, they wanted to change. They wanted to start, but they waited. They spent another year thinking about what they could do, watching videos, making plans, comparing themselves to other people, waiting for motivation. And now they sit there, exactly where they started, maybe worse, because now they don't just have fear, they have regret. They know they had time, they just didn't use it. Now imagine the second version of yourself. This person didn't have everything figured out either. They were afraid too. They made mistakes. Some days they had no motivation. Some days they wanted to quit, but they started anyway. One small action, then another. They learned, they failed. They adjusted, they kept going. And after 1 year, Their life isn't necessarily perfect, but something has changed. They are no longer the person they were. They have proof that they can trust themselves. They built discipline. They gained experience. They learned things they couldn't have learned by sitting still. And perhaps the most important thing, they no longer ask, what if I started? Because they did. Now ask yourself, 12 months from today, which person do you want to be? Because both futures are being created right now, not next year, not tomorrow, right now, with what you choose to do today. Here's what makes this even more interesting. You don't actually need to complete the entire journey today. You just need to begin it. People become overwhelmed because they look at the mountain and think they have to climb the entire thing immediately. You want to get in shape, so you think about losing 50 pounds. You want to start a business, so you think about everything that could go wrong. You want to learn a skill, so you think about the hundreds of hours ahead. You want to create something, so you compare your first attempt to someone else's 1,000th, and suddenly the first step feels impossible. But stop looking at the entire year. Look at today. What can you do today? Not forever. Today. Can you exercise for 20 minutes? Can you read 10 pages? Can you write 1 page? Can you learn for 30 minutes? Can you save a small amount of money? Can you create your first video? Can you take 1 step toward the person you want to become? Of course you can. And that's how everything changes. Not all at once. 1 day at a time. You don't need to become extraordinary today. You just need to stop being completely inactive toward the life you want. Because small actions are powerful when you repeat them. 1 workout doesn't transform your body, but hundreds of workouts do. 1 page doesn't create a book, but enough pages do. $1 doesn't create wealth, but disciplined habits over time can completely change your financial future. 1 video may not change your career, but you can't have 100 videos until you make the first one. The beginning always looks small. That's why so many people underestimate it. But 1 year later, you can look back and realize everything started with something that seemed insignificant. The next year is coming. You cannot stop it. 365 days will pass. The question isn't whether time will move. It will. The question is, will you move with it? This time next year, you could still be saying, I wish I had started. Or you could look back at today and say, I'm glad I did. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need every answer. You don't need everyone's approval. You just need enough courage to take the first step. Because when you start, you learn things you couldn't learn by standing still. You see opportunities you couldn't see before. The path becomes clearer after you start walking, not before. So today, make a real decision, not a promise you'll forget when things become difficult. A decision that 1 year from now, you won't have to say, I never tried. You might make mistakes. You might fail. You might have to change direction. That's okay. A wrong move can be corrected. A mistake can become a lesson. A failure can become experience. But you cannot build a new life by refusing to move. Your future self is being created today by what you do when nobody is watching, by what you do when you don't feel motivated, by whether you keep the promises you make to yourself. Every day, you're casting a vote for the person you want to become or the person you choose to remain. 1 day won't change everything, but repeated days will. So make today's vote count, because 1 year from now, you'll either wish you had started today, or you'll be grateful that you did. 1 year from now, you'll wish you started today, or you'll be grateful that you did. Those are the 2 possibilities. The calendar will change either way. The days will disappear either way. You will get older either way. Time will move either way. So don't let another day become another excuse. Don't wait for confidence. Don't wait for motivation. Don't wait for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is a myth created by people who are afraid to begin. Start badly. Start slowly. Start with what you have. Start with what you know. But start, because one day you will look back at this moment and you will see it differently. You will see that you had an opportunity. You had a day. You had a choice. And you had more power than you thought. Maybe you can't change your entire life today, but you can change the direction of it today with one decision, with one action, with one step. So take it, because 12 months from now, the world will look different. But the most important question is, will you? Start today and give your future self a reason to be grateful.